Hi, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to show you one of my favorite fall time, winter time soups, and that is French onion soup. It's so easy to prepare. It's nice and beefy and flavorful, and it's real good for you. But instead of using yellow onions, I'm going to be using my favorite, which is red onions. But if you want to use yellow onions or Vidalia onions, the choice is yours. Still basically the same ingredients. So let's get to it and prepare these onions. Okay, this recipe is so simple, and all we're going to do to start with is to slice up the onion into quarter-inch or so thickness, and then I'm going to put them in my bowl here, and I'm just going to tear them apart so that they're like this, and that's going to become our soup just like that. Okay, to start this wonderful tasty soup, I'm going to add in 1 liter of chicken broth, which is about 5 cups. So just get that going in there. The whole thing will go in there. And to that, I'm going to be adding in quite a few sprigs of parsley, and we're going to sift that out later on. And on top of that, we're going to add in, for extra flavor, 1 whole carrot cut into long pieces. And if you have some fresh thyme on hand, just pop that in. If you don't have fresh thyme, that's fine. Use the dry stuff. And then we have 1 tablespoon worth of Worcestershire sauce and a good splash of soy sauce. And that's going to give it a really nice flavor. So there's my shot of soy sauce, not a lot. And I'm going to give it a little bit of salt right now, not a lot. And I'll salt it more later on. There you have it. So we're going to bring this to a light boil and then simmer it on super, super low for 1 hour. Okay, while the soup portion is cooking in the pot next to this one, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter and about a tablespoon or so of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to let that melt down just a little bit. And then we're going to add in all these onions. Now, you might be saying to yourself, wow, I'm just a single person. There's just 2 of us. Believe me, this amount of onions will sweat down and will shrink down to nothing in no time. So we're going to just let this heat up. I'm going to keep an eye on it, and then once most of it has sweated, I'm going to turn down the heat to a bare minimum and let it sit in this pot for at least 30 minutes, up to an hour. Okay, my onions have been cooking for about 5 minutes on high, and now I've turned down the heat to a low, very low temperature, and you can see the volume of these onions has dropped by half. They're getting nice and brown, and now with it on simmer, I'm going to let them cook, as I said, for like 30 minutes, and I want them to get caramelized on the bottom. So that's why I'm using a nice, good old-fashioned wooden spoon. That really does a nice job on it. So I'll continue keeping an eye on it, and then we'll be back in a bit. Okay, the onions are perfectly cooked, and I'm going to just deglaze this with some more beef broth, about a half a cup, and just wipe that along the bottom. You could also do this with some sherry if you have some, a half a cup, but I prefer not to use any sherry, so that's all there is to that. Now, the last step, we're going to just put a sieve on top, and we're going to pour the beef broth on top of that to filter out all the veggies. And now we are good to go. Give that a little shake. And voila, a nice French onion soup. So the next step is to toast some nice fresh baguette, and we'll do that in just a minute. Okay, we got our nice white baguette, and I'll take off the end piece here and just slice them into half-inch pieces or so. And I think I'll do about 8. There you go. Nice little slices, and let's get that under the broiler for a few minutes and toast them up. Alrighty, my baguette are nice and toasted, and I'm going to just give them a nice rub with fresh garlic that I sliced in half, and that'll be really nice with this French onion soup. Ooh, went right in. Just a little. And now I'm going to shred some Gruyere cheese, and I don't mind telling you that this stuff was really hard to find. I had to go to 3 stores to find it, and I am sure glad I did. If you don't have that, you can always use provolone cheese and or Swiss cheese. But if you can find this beautiful, tasty cheese, then I say get it. So we're just going to do enough for one right now. There we go. On to the last step. And the last step, first, you're going to need some crockery that can go in under the broiler, and it's going to be under the broiler for about 3 to 5 minutes. So let's fill that up and put enough onions to fill that up quite nice. And the onions are really nice and soft and tender. And that's all I'm going to put there. And then I'm going to take some of that shredded Gruyere cheese, drop that in there, and then drop my toasted baguette that had a garlic rub. Just kind of poke them in, and then give it a nice helping of more cheese. And into the oven it goes. There we are, nicely melted. And a last step, and if you're into chives, I would just sprinkle a little bit of fresh chives on top. And I'm very fortunate that this stuff is growing on my balcony, so I am going to add it. And now we're going to do a little taste test. And there you go. Doesn't that look delicious? Look at that cheese, just ooey and gooey and delicious. And it's all over. The onions are cooked perfectly. The aroma in my kitchen right now is out of this world. So let me just take a little taste test here. Oh yeah. Bit of broth. Oh, you got to try this today. With the cold weather that's moving in to North America, in particular in Quebec, this is healthy, nutritious, and delicious, and your family will love it. So give it a try. Thank you for visiting my channel once again. Give me a thumbs up, would be appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until the next one, my friends, take care. Bye-bye.